Welcome back, boys and girls, gems and germs. Yeah, dudes are definitely germs. We're the germs. Yep. Anyways, we're having fun today. All right. It's your favorite sorcerer that slings syntax. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, that's me. We're gonna go over compound interest calculator. So this is kind of a typical. I've studied like four different languages when I was in college, and like you always do like a compound interest calculator. I don't know why. It's like hello world. Everybody does it. It's like the typical thing. Don't at me about it, okay? I'm in my soft guy era. I'm relaxing right now. You don't get to yell at me. Just kidding, guys. I'm just trying to have some fun. So, compound interest. This is the first time we're going to be doing like big boy math today. Big boy math. We've done little math. We've done tiny baby math, like pluses and minuses and a little bit of multiplication. This is actually like an important one. So I think we can use just the standard libraries, but we're going to check. So we're going to start off with our variables, and there's going to be a few of them today. So we're going to make a double called principal. And we're going to say it equals 1,000. And this, I'm going to start doing this now, is our principal amount. You're going to start seeing more and more coding like this, where I start to explain my my stuff, my code off to the side. My stuff. I'm going to comment more often. Then we're going to do another double called annual rate. And we're going to set that to, let's say, like 5 years, right? And that's our annual interest rate in percentage. Percentages? I can't see where the wrong was. Tudges. Oh my gosh. Don't talk to me. All right, don't talk to me. Int years, not capital. We don't capitalize that. 5 years, right? And this is time period in years, obviously. I put yeah. You put yeah. I put year. I put years. You put yeah. I didn't do that. All right. So then we're going to do... what should we do next? Let's calculate the compound interest. So calculate the compound interest. You guys are going to yell at me when this channel starts getting popular. And we're like, you can't spell. I have dyslexia and dyscalculia. Diagnosed. Leave me alone. Let's do some code. Double compound interest. So we're making a double. We're calling it compound interest. And we're going to do calculate compound interest. And then we're going to say principal and annual rate and years. Let me make sure we spelled this right. Calculate compound interest. This should work once we get through everything else. And then we're going to do right here, we're going to do output the result. God, it's 1,000 degrees in my room. I'm sorry. I'm having brain farts. Principal plot. That's why that was acting all crazy. Am I just... Yep. Don't, guys. And it's... Oh, my God. No, it's with AL, though. It is with AL. I'm losing it. He's losing his mind. Console.WriteLine. Not the... Why do you do this? Don't autofill. I just want you to set it up. Set it up. Don't freaking insert. If you guys ever get this, like, where it's blinking like a block and not the line like you need, hit insert on your keyboard. It's right next to the home, delete, end, page up, page down. That will change it to an insert, and it changes it by the character rather than like inserting it between characters. And it fucks up all your code. And I'll show you real quick. So if you ever do something like this and you're like, oh no, I needed a 7 here. Like that's normally what you do. But if you do insert, watch this. When we hit 7 now, F is replaced. So it has its place, but it will fuck you up sometimes. And I've done it plenty of times. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are going to comment like, oh yeah, I did this too. It's not fun. It's not fun because you're like, what? Fuck, I just rewrote everything. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, potty mouth. I'm sorry. Anyways, we're going to say principal amount. And then we'll do the money symbol. But this time, if you notice, it's inside the quotes. So it means money. We're going to write this correctly. And then console right line. We'll do annual. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to roast me later. And then we're going to say plus annual rate. Plus, then we'll use the percentage symbol inside of quotation marks. That way it displays the annual rate, which normally is going to be 5. It shows a quotation mark. It's going to look pretty. Do another console right line, and we'll do time period. We're doing this as if we're like a banker or something, right? And then plus years. And then plus, you know what? Let's put years. Years, yeah, just like that. So then it'll say time period 5 years, right? Yeah. That looks good. We're going to do one more console right line, and we'll say compound interest. And then we'll do and put the money symbol and do plus compound interest. Okay. We don't need to add anything to that, and I'll show you why, because we will output this correctly. Here, I'm just going to delete a couple extra lines, and we're going to go outside of main, and now this is going to be a function to calculate compound interest, right? And we're going to say it's static double calculate, and we're just going to copy this right here. Copy that so we have the exact same wording, compound interest, and the parameters are going to be a double principal. Let's see, is this displaying everything correctly? Double the annual rate and int years. Yes, that is. Oh, why you go away? No, give it back. Oh, well, guess we got to write it all out ourselves. That's on me. Anyways, double annual rate. And that was wildly wrong. You can tell I've been writing my D&D campaign because I'm spelling everything different. And int years, right? And then we're going to pause. Oh, not that. Oh, why do you do this sometimes? I like that it actually autofills, don't get me wrong. It just throws me off. Okay, so next up we're going to convert annual rate from percentage to decimal. See, this is important here. So we're gonna say, who remembers? I'm gonna give you a second to remember how to convert a percentage to a decimal. If you guys this is not like a trick or anything. This was like basic math. So I'm gonna give you a second. Pause your video. Okay, I hope you paused it because I'm going anyways. We're going to do double rate equals annual rate divided by 100. Annual rate divided by 100. So what's this saying? Does not, oh, not returning a value. Yeah, that's fine. You guys can't, I don't know why I can't show the errors. It's dumb, but you see that there's an error. You just can't see what error it gives me. All it's saying is not all code paths return a value. That's because we didn't set this to void or anything, but we are going to return a value. So don't you worry about that. All right, next up, we converted the annual rate from percentage to decimal. Now we need to calculate the compound interest. Compound interest. Right? So we're going to do double amount equals principal times, and this is where some of you are going to get confused. This is a new thing. Math.pow, and we're going to say 1 plus rate and years. Just like that. This is something new that you guys haven't seen yet, but we will go on to explain that in just a minute. All right, then we're going to do double compound interest, and we're going to say amount. No, why? I hit tab sometimes and it does its own thing. Minus principal. Right? Get the principal out here. Drag him by his toes. And then we're just going to return compound interest. And now you see squiggly line has gone away. Control S, save your work. Remember, if there's a little asterisk right there, you haven't saved your work. Let's talk about this now. So in C#, C++, there are libraries. You can see that math is a library in itself, written as a, one of the, like, it's green like this. I can't think of the word. It's a class. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. So these are libraries written to do heavy mathematics, and the .pow is the number x raised to the power y. So I will explain the mathematics at the very end. It's not difficult. It just looks wonky, but the computer knows how to do this, right? This is the simple part. So we've saved our program. Let's just go over everything really quick. We got double principal is set to 1,000. Why are we using doubles? Anybody remember? I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Oh, okay. Well, I took a minute and I paused the video to take a break because I had to, be a human. But I hope you guys paused the video and maybe looked back on some of your old stuff. So why are we using a double versus an integer? Well, so an integer, remember integers, let's do a little quick note taking, right? Int is a 32-bit signed integer. Now, we didn't discuss this technically. So they represent whole numbers in the range of, it's something like -2 million to like +2 million. It's something like that. It's something ridiculous number. It might even be 2 billion. I can't remember. It's a crazy number. Did not mean to do that. Just meant to give it a little space. And then a double is a 64-bit double precision floating point type. And I'm going to do a video kind of explaining that stuff. I mostly just want to get you guys used to the syntax first. Floating, right? Floating point type. And so that represents real numbers with decimal points. Oh, there it is, with decimal points. So it can represent a much wider range. Much wider range of values compared to int. Okay? Super duper nifty. All right. So we've got this working. Let's finish this, actually, because we're running at 13 minutes, and I don't want to keep you guys going forever. 14 minutes. I lied. All right. Control S, save. Run this. Run that shot. Any day now. It'll run. It's going to do that. Bam. I told you it was going to run, boys and girls. Okay. So what do we got? Principal amount is $1,000. Bam. Right? We got annual interest rate 5%. Bam. Right? Time period, 5 years. Bam. Compound interest, $276.28. Don't worry about that. there's a way to change that later, right? Okay, don't worry about it. But if you want to take your calculator, I can show you the math now. This is really easy. All right, so let's go over the math. Math, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, if you don't know that joke, you might be too young to be on this channel. No, everybody's welcome on this channel. But if you don't know that joke, yeah, I don't know if it's appropriate to say which movie it comes from, because the movie is very adult. Very adult. Anyways, so let's go over. So this code defines the calculate compound interest function, this one, that takes the principal amount, right? We take the principal amount, we're sending that over. We're taking the interest rate and the time period in years in these parameters. This is the parameters. Remember, anything inside of the bracket are the parameters we're sending over, and calculates the compound interest using the formula. What is the formula? That is A equals P1 plus, I think it's lowercase r, and then to the t, power of t. So this A is annual interest. You know what? Let's just write it out. A is the amount after interest. P is the principal amount. R is the annual interest rate as a decimal. Remember, we changed it to a decimal. T is the time period in years. Okay, so now, for those of you that have never written mathematical formulas on the computer, I can't make a small t that appears above the brackets like you'll see on your computers or even on a printed piece of paper. So this right here, this little arrow pointing up, that actually is how you show a computer what is power. I'm sorry, something fell over and it was slapping my leg. Shows what is power. So this is a way to do it. This is a much better way to do it. But if we were to delve into this function, this library right here, it would have that little symbol right there. And it's very, very straightforward, very easy. That's just how you write it. If you've ever taken a math class and had to submit homework online, using that symbol when you submit your homework means to the power of t, right? So A is the amount after interest. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to confuse you. P is the principal amount. R is the annual interest rate as a decimal. T is the time period in years. All right, so let's step through the code. I'm going to try to cut this real short so that we're not dragging ass too much, because I know some of you guys click off after 5 minutes once you get the code that you need. I'm looking at you. All right, we start by initializing our variables. We start with the principal amount. We got the annual interest rate, and we've got the years. So we set it to 1,000 to 5% to 5 years. Then we call the calculate compound interest, right? We call this, and we say, here, take the principal, the annual rate, and the years. Turn this one, annual rate, into a decimal, and then take that, create an amount that's principal times, we're doing this calculation right here. That's going to give us our compound interest. We're setting our compound interest to amount minus principal. So we're taking this number, principal again, the $1,000 loan you took out, taking that, deducting it, so that we just get compound interest. Compound interest is going to be returned up here. It's going to say, hey, this is the principal, this is the annual rate percentage, this is the years, and here's what you will be paying in interest on your loan. Super easy. If you guys want to use this program to figure out your own loan, you could be like, hey, I've got 6,000, or let's say 65,700. Let's say this is your student debt, right? We're gonna pretend like no. We'll take that. 30 years. Some of us have student debt. I don't anymore, thank God. Annual rate. I don't remember. Let's just say 8%. And years, we're gonna say 30. So let's look at what a $65,000 loan the principal amount for 8% over 30 years would cost us, it's not going to be pretty. Look at that number. Isn't that insane? That's probably wrong somewhere. I think that's look at that. 593,000? Well, no, that actually might be right. I'd have to sit down and do another calculator, but I think you guys get the point. It's a ridiculous thing. Don't take out student loans. Learn from me on YouTube, and I promise you companies will hire you once I get more videos out. Maybe I can find a way to do certifications or something. Anyways, guys, the video is running 20 minutes long. I'm so sorry. You guys go crack open a beer. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. Love you all. Kisses.